Over the past few billion years, the Earth is evolving. It's a disaster. Like being hit by an asteroid from outer space, gamma ray leopard attack in deep space, and its own ice age, and supervolcanoes and so on. It can be said that life on Earth can survive. It was a total miracle. And today, let's take a look back at the evolutionary history of the Earth to witness how did the Earth go from itinerary to evolution? Countless voices. Hello, this is the Space Science Station. Welcome to this episode. To understand the evolution of the Earth, we have to turn back the clock. 4.60 billion years ago. About 4.60 billion years ago, our solar system, it begins to emerge from a huge molecular cloud. This nebula not only collapses under the action of attractive vortex. As more and more matter accumulates, the temperature and pressure at the core of the nebula also rise. After meeting certain conditions, hydrogen heats and reacts in the center. And so our primordial sun was born. After the sun was born, the remnants at the far end continue to revolve around the sun. Over time, these substances accumulate. Under the influence of attractive forces, the gas formed the gas blanket planets. The heavy elements formed Mars, a rocky planet like Earth. In the beginning, our planet was very active. It spews out hydrogen sulfide inside, gases like methane and carbon dioxide, and these gases form the original atmosphere. At the same time, the Earth will continue to suffer asteroid impact from space. But soon, the Earth experienced a more violent impact. About 4.50 billion years ago, a planet the size of Mars is headed straight for Earth. Then under this epic impact, the planet was almost completely destroyed and threw a large amount of material into Earth's orbit. The attractive force holds the pieces together, thus forming our moon. At this time, the Earth already has satellites, but the surface is still in a state of hot lava. There is no ocean. All water exists as a gas. Over time, the temperature started to drop. The ground gradually cools and solidifies, and the water also condenses into small water droplets and fell in the form of rain. And that's how the oceans are formed. The Earth became a watery world. Water is an essential ingredient for the creation of living things. About 3.80 billion years ago, water life has emerged from Earth's underwater hot springs. These earliest life forms, it's the most primitive single-celled life. For nearly 1 billion years at that time, these organisms changed the course of the world. They are constantly evolving. United life. About 2.50 billion years ago, Earth experienced a major oxidation event. Cyanobacteria have evolved into our planet, the first photosynthesis device. The Earth began to fill with oxygen, but as time goes by, more oxygen on Earth, and carbon dioxide levels go down, causing the Earth to get colder. So 2.40 billion years ago, experienced the first ice age. The entire planet is almost frozen. About 2.35 billion years ago, the glaciers are starting to retreat. The continents are constantly drifting and reassembling. A supercontinent formed 1.80 billion years ago. It's called the Columbia supercontinent. And at this time, life in the ocean, it gets more complicated. They've evolved over time. From primitive origin and life, evolved into truth and life. Then about 540 million years ago, there was an explosion of life. This is called the Cambrian explosion. During this period, evolved animals have hard body parts, like amputated limbs, chordates, etc. The most famous of these is the trilobite. About 440 million years ago, a star 6,000 light years away, a supernova occurred. The gamma rays it produces strike the Earth and destroyed about half of the Earth's ozone layer, causing dramatic changes in the Earth's climate. Nearly 80% of species were wiped out. The Earth experienced its first mass extinction. It was called the Ordovician, retainer mass extinction event. In the days that followed, after a long recovery, the Earth began to come alive. 350 million years ago, the first trees were born from the Earth's soil. And the first marine animals are beginning to make their way. 250 million years ago, an unprecedented event took place on Earth. Continuous volcanic eruption. Lots of toxic gases and dust covered the entire Earth. Due to the inability of living things to adapt to severe climate change, 90% of all living things. In this mass extinction event, it also paved the way for later animal evolution. 230 million years ago, the first dinosaurs appeared. They ruled the Earth for nearly 160 million years. If you can live in this era, then it will witness the history of largest land animal and the fiercest predatory warfare. But the good times didn't last long. As time goes by, a terrible disaster is coming to an end. About 65 million years ago, an asteroid 10 kilometers in diameter hit our Earth. The power of its impact, over 100 trillion tons of TNT equivalent. In a violent impact, makes a lot of dust fragments fly to an altitude of 10,000 meters. And that just moves back into the atmosphere, scattered around the world, and block out the sun, causing devastating climate change on Earth. The dinosaurs that eventually ruled the Earth for 160 million years, the road to extinction. Only small mammals survived. And this is the extinction. It paved the way for the emergence of later humans. About 6 million years ago, a whole new species has emerged. They are the earliest known humans. That's Guyuan. The ancestors of humans that can still walk on all fours. Until 4 million years ago, fur just started to move from limbs to upright walking. And then they evolved over millions of years. We have Homo sapiens. And I learned how to use tools and how to control fire. About 10,000 years ago, the only people left on Earth are the lay ones. They are no longer nomadic. It's about settling down, entered the farming era. The earliest text appears at this time, the dawn of civilization. About 250 years ago, humans entered the Industrial Revolution. It ushered in an era in which machines replaced manual labor. Our social system and culture, huge changes have taken place, and the population is growing. In the last century, human technology has reached a new height and entered the space age. We have been able to leave the Earth to the distant moon, and man-made unmanned probes have even arrived deep within the solar system. To this day, human technology is still evolving. I don't know in the future what will be the fate of mankind. But that's another story.